Samson, as recounted in the Bible. The story of Samson is a narrative filled with extraordinary feats, divine intervention, and profound lesson about faith, obedience, and the consequences of one's actions. Samson's life is chronicled in the book of Judges chapter 13 to 16. And his story is one of the most captivating and complex in the Old Testament. To set the stage for his birth, Israel was under the oppression and rule of the Philistines. Samson was born in Nazarite, and he was chosen by God to do his work. And God gave him extraordinary strength to do his work. The story of Samson begins even before his birth, in a time when the Israelites were oppressed by the Philistines. Judges chapter 13 verse 1. Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. So the Lord delivered them into the hands of the Philistines for 40 years. An angel of the Lord appeared to a woman who was unable to have children. This woman was the wife of Manoah from the tribe of Dan. Judges chapter 13 verse 2. A certain man of Zorah named Manoah from the clan of the Danites had a wife who was childless, unable to give birth.
The angel announced that she would conceive and give birth to a son who would begin to deliver Israel from the hands of the Philistines. The angel instructed her that the child would be a Nazarite from birth, dedicated to God, and as such, he must abstain from all grape products, avoid anything unclean, and never cut his head. Judges chapter 13 verse 3 to 5. The angel of the Lord appeared to her and said, "You are barren and childless, but you are going to become pregnant and give birth to a son. Now see to it that you drink no wine or other fermented drinks, and that you do not eat anything unclean. You will become pregnant and have a son whose head is never to be touched by a razor, because the boy is to be a Nazarite, dedicated to God from the womb. He would take the lead in delivering Israel from the hands of the Philistines." Then the woman went to her husband and told him, "A man of God came to me. He looked like an angel of God, very awesome. I didn't ask him where he came from, and he didn't tell me his name. But he said to me, 'You will become pregnant and have a son. Now then, drink no wine or other fermented drink, and do not eat anything unclean, because the boy will be a Nazarite of God from the womb until the day of his death.'" Manoah, understandably anxious, prayed for the angel of the Lord to return and provide more instructions on how to raise this special child. The angel appeared again, reiterating the instructions and emphasizing the importance of the Nazarite vow. Manoah, in all, offered a sacrifice to the Lord, and as the flame rose towards heaven, the angel ascended with it, revealing his divine nature. Manoah and his wife fell with their faces to the ground. Judges chapter 13 verse 8 to 20. When the angel of the Lord did not show himself again to Manoah and his wife, Manoah realized that it was the angel of the Lord. "We are doomed to die," he said to his wife. "We have seen God." But his wife answered, "If the Lord had meant to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and grave offering from our hands, nor show us all these things, or now told us this." Judges 13, 21 and 22. True to the angel's word, Manoah's wife gave birth to a son, and they named him Samson. The Lord blessed him, and he grew up under the Nazarite vow, which meant he was set apart for God's services. His extraordinary strength was a gift from God, a manifestation of the divine favor upon him. As Samson grew into adulthood, he began to display both his incredible strength and his impulsive nature. One day, he saw a Philistine woman in Timnah and insisted on marrying her. Despite his parents' objection, they preferred him to marry within his own people, but Samson was adamant. Judges chapter 14 verse 1 to 3. This decision will set the stage for many of the conflicts that followed. On his way to Tamar to arrange the marriage, Samson encountered a young lion. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he tore the lion apart with his bare hands. This feat was a clear sign of his superhuman strength, but he kept it a secret from his parents. Judges chapter 14 verse 5. Samson went down to Tamar together with his father and mother. As they approached the vineyard of Timnah, suddenly a young lion came roaring towards him. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so that he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. But he told neither his father nor his mother what he had done. Later, on another trip to Timnah, Samson found a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion he had killed. He ate some of the honey and gave it to his parents. But again, he did not reveal the source. This act was a violation of the Nazarite vow, as he had come into contact with a dead body, but it seemed to have no immediate consequences. At the wedding feast, Samson posed the riddle to the Philistine guests. Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet. The Philistine, unable to solve the riddle, threatened Samson's wife and her family to disclose the answer. Under duress, she coerced the answer from Samson and revealed it to the Philistine. Judges chapter 14 verse 10 to 8. Let me tell you a riddle, Samson said to them. If you can give me the answer within 7 days of the feast, I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 suits of clothes. If you can't tell me the answer, you must give me 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. Tell us your riddle, they said. Let's hear it. He replied, out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet. For 3 days, they could not give the answers. On the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife, coax your husband into explaining the riddle for us, or we'll burn you and your father's household to death. Did you invite us here to steal our properties? Then Samson's wife threw herself on him, sobbing, you hate me. You don't really love me. You've given my people riddle, but you haven't told me the answer. I haven't even explained it to my father or mother, he replied. So why should I explain it to you? She cried the whole 7 days of the feast. So on the 7th day, he finally told her, because she continued to press him. She in turn explained the riddle to her people. Before sunset on the 7th day, the men of the town said to him, what is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion? When Samson realized he had been betrayed, he was furious. In his anger, he went to another town, Ashkelon, and killed 30 Philistines, taking their garments to pay off the bets he had made with the wedding guests. Samson's actions sparked a circle of violence. The Philistines, in retaliation, burned Samson's wife and her family to death. Enraged, Samson vowed revenge and attacked the Philistines, causing great destruction. He then retreated to a cave in the rock of Etam. The men of Judah, fearing Philistines' retribution, went to Samson and asked him to surrender. Samson agreed, but only if they promised not to harm him themselves. They bound him with new ropes and handed him over to the Philistine. However, as he approached the Philistines' camp, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him once more. He snapped the ropes as if they were mere threads, and finding a fresh jawbone of donkey, he used it to strike down 1,000 Philistines. Judges chapter 15, verse 1 to 15. Then Samson said, "With a donkey's jawbone, I have made donkeys of them. With a donkey's jawbone, I have killed 1,000 men." When he finished speaking, he threw away the jawbone, and the place was called Ramath-lehi. Because he was very thirsty, he cried out to the Lord, "You have given your servant this great victory. Must I now die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised?" Then God opened up the hollow place in Lehi, and water came out of it. When Samson drank, his strength returned and he revived. So the spring was called En-Hakkore, and it is still there in Lehi. Samson led Israel for 20 years in the days of the Philistine. One of the most famous episodes in Samson's life involved his relationship with Delilah. After his exploits against the Philistine, Samson fell in love with Delilah, a woman from the valley of Sorek. The Philistine rulers, seeing an opportunity to capture their enemy, bribed Delilah to discover the secret of Samson's strength. Judges chapter 16. Delilah repeatedly asked Samson about the source of his strength, and he gave her false answers 3 times. First, he told her that if he were bound with 7 fresh bowstrings, he would become weak. When the Philistine tried this, Samson easily broke free. Next, he said that if he were bound with new ropes, he would lose his strength. Again, he broke free. Finally, he told her that if his hair were woven into a loom, he would be helpless. But even then, he snapped the loom and escaped. Delilah, however, persisted, and Samson, worn down by her nagging, finally revealed the truth. His strength came from his uncut hair, a symbol of his Nazarite vow. As he slept, Delilah cut his hair, and the Philistine captured him, blinded him, and enslaved him. Samson was taken to Gaza, where he was forced to grind grain in the prison. Even in his captivity, Samson's story was not over. As the Philistines celebrate their victory in the temple of their god Dagon, they brought Samson out to mock him. Standing between the pillars that supported the temple, Samson prayed to God for one last burst of strength. With a mighty effort, he pushed against the pillars, and the temple collapsed, killing him and thousands of Philistines. Samson's death marked the end of his judgeship, but his legacy lived on. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of disobedience and the redeeming power of God's mercy. Despite his flaws and failures, Samson is remembered as a judge of Israel who, through his extraordinary strength and ultimate sacrifice, played a crucial role in delivering his people from their enemies. After Samson's death, his body was recovered by his family, and he was buried in the tomb of his father Manoah, between Zara and Eshtaol. His story became a testament to the power of God working through imperfect vessels and the enduring hope of redemption. The story of Samson is a complex tapestry of divine calling, human weakness, and ultimate redemption. It teaches us about the importance of obedience, the consequences of our actions, and the unfailing mercy of God. Samson's life, though marked by tragedy and failure, ultimately serves as a reminder that God can use even the most flawed individual to accomplish His purpose. Thank you for watching. For more Bible stories as this, subscribe, share, and drop your comments at the comment section. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.